okay? I'm going out of the country to a country I've never been to before. And it should be super fucking dope. And I'm taking y'all with me. The only thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stream both at the same time, as far as TikTok and Big O. So I'll have to alternate, which means y'all need to be following me on both. Okay? Y'all need to, if you don't have me on Big O, go make you a Big O account. Okay? And follow me there. If you don't have me on TikTok, then go make you a TikTok account and follow me on there. Okay? That way, no matter where I go live at, you not, out in the ether somewhere. Okay? Thank you, my love. Thank you, my love. Shout out to all of y'all that's gifting. Also, I'm still doing specials. I'm still doing reading specials. I'm still doing mentorship specials. I'm still doing consultation specials for those who are interested. Okay, so feel free to inbox me. Email me, DM me. Thank you, Rock. So on and so forth for more information. Okay? Now, because we did a reading live yesterday, today I'm like, I don't want to do no reading. On top of that, I've been doing readings all day for clients, so don't feel like doing a reading. But I just wanted to check in. I feel like we can have a little chit chat. And kind of talk about some things that y'all want to talk about. So feel free to start dropping some things in the comments. If there are some questions that you have, if there's some spiritual advice that you guys want on certain situations or how to deal with certain things, or if there's a certain topic that you want us to talk about, that's what we're doing today. Okay, so feel free to put whatever you want in the comments, regardless of where you're watching at. I'll be looking at both chats. So if you're on Big O, then I'll answer those questions. If you're on TikTok, I'll answer those questions. I know that there are a lot of, thank you for the gift, Tamia. I know that there are a lot of spiritual newbies. I know that there are a lot of people that are just new following me as well. For some of you guys, this may be your first live. Welcome. Okay. We officially call ourselves the Polka Dots over here. However, you don't have to subscribe to that if you don't want to. Okay? We don't force anything. Just a family or whatever, a spiritual people, you know what I'm saying? The realest people that you're going to see on this motherfucking app. And that's just how it goes. But yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say before we get into it. Nothing that I can think of. So we can go ahead into questions, topics, advice, so on and so forth. Feel free to comment in the chat and we'll go from there. There is no questions off limits. Don't be in your head about it. If you have a question, just ask your question. Okay? Don't overthink it. I'm using both of my phones, so I can't text on my phone. I gotta do it on my computer. In the meantime, between time, while some of you guys are either coming up with questions or just getting more comfortable, I did want to quickly speak on a few things that have been kind of in my head in regards to certain things that may be going on right now from a spiritual perspective. One of them being the state in which we are when it comes to a lot of the forced racism right now. I don't know if y'all have been peeping that. It almost seems like, I'm not gonna say it almost seems like, but it seems like they're trying to put us back into an energy where we as melanated people feel ostracized again, or feel attacked, or feel just fucked with. Okay, which is strange, because I'm not gonna say it's strange, because it's nothing is a coincidence, right? But it's happening around a time where we as melanated people are waking up and realizing more of who we are, and the energy that we hold and the power that we have. We're getting more unified, especially within the Black American population, which I feel like as Black Americans, we've always been proud to be Black American. We've always been a people that, was very, very culturally proud of who we are and what we have and where we come from, and how we've made it to where we are at this point, so on and so forth. And now, especially now that specifically Black Americans are kind of saying like, we is we and y'all is y'all, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? We cousins, but we not siblings. It seems like now, that we're kind of, what is it called? Delineating, if I'm not mistaken, is the word. And kind of finding solace within ourselves and within our own community. They're trying to force this whole racial thing to kind of come back, and it's really been pissing me off. Specifically, I don't know if y'all heard about that lady that called that Black autistic child the N-word with the hard ER, and they raised $1 million for that wench. Okay, shit like that I feel like is very very purposefully done. Okay, now, if you're not spiritual, then a lot of what we're saying, or a lot of what I will be saying today, and I am saying, is probably going to go over your head. So this is your warning, okay? We as spiritual people understand that this is a game, right? This world is a game. This realm is a fucking game, right? And these people play this game based on their own weird, well, I can't say that word because that's what got me suspended last time. But their own strange feelings, likes, dislikes, so on and so forth, personal agendas, etc., right? And a lot of what happens in this realm is strategically done. Agenda. Thank you. A lot of what happens in this realm is very strategic. Nothing is by accident. Nothing is by default. There is no such thing as a coincidence here. Everything is purposeful. Everything has meaning. Everything has an agenda, has a perceived outcome, right? Down to politics, down to the healthcare industry, down to the school system, down to the entertainment industry, down to the music industry. Thank you, Mr. Universe. Down to religion. I mean, any and everything that you can think of is strategically put in place, right, for a specific outcome, right? Nothing is just by random design. That's just not how this shit works. So even when we have these weird or these strange moments where all of a sudden there's an uproar of racism happening, it's purposeful, okay? And they like to use situations and events that hit close to home because they understand generationally that we as melanated people pass down trauma through genes, through DNA, right? through shared experiences and muscle memory, body memory, essence memory, right? So the things that our ancestors went through, and I'm not just talking slavery, I'm just talking any type of injustice, any type of resistance, any type of attack, personal, social, societal, whatever, all right? It's passed down, right? The descendants of those people, will subconsciously, kind of live in that essence and in that energy. Okay? With that being said, there's a couple situations that stood out to me. Number one, thank you, TBZ. Number one, the whole Carmelo Anthony situation. Okay? And I'm about to teach y'all how to start paying attention to this shit. Number one, the man's name is Carmelo Anthony. That's not by coincidence. Okay? It's not by coincidence. All right? It's not a random occurrence. It's not just a happenstance. Oh, he just so happened to be named. No. This shit is purposeful. This shit is by design. Okay? And again, if you can't see where I'm coming from, and if you're not on this level of thinking and you two in your feelings to understand what we're talking about, this is not the live for you. I'm going to just say that. Okay? This is not the live for you. I feel like for you and what you're already doing, you will have to protect the people who have noticed these things. Absolutely. Having the eyes to see is one of the most dangerous things that can happen in this realm. It's almost like how people say when you wake up in a dream, you become conscious in a dream. We call that astral projection or lucid dreaming, right? You're not supposed to tell people that you woke up, right? If you ever lucid dreamed, if you ever astral projected, you're not supposed to go into these astral spaces and bring attention to yourself and tell people that you're awake, because that everything starts to fuck up from then. This is a fucking dream. That's how I want y'all to think of this shit, right? When you're lucid dreaming, when you're astral projecting, you can control the dream, but you cannot let the people around you know that you're in a that you're awake. Same thing with this realm. You can control this realm, right? You can create your own reality, but the minute that you start going around announcing, hey, I saw that, I peeped that, you know what I'm saying? My eyes are open, I'm awake, you're doomed. I don't want to say you're doomed, but your life will never be the same. You know what I'm saying? You're done for. You can't go back to living a normal life. You can't go back to being in hiding. You can't go back to, you know what I'm saying, you can't go back. Thank you, TBZ. You can't go back. It just is what it is. You are forever the person who's awake. And everybody around you knows it. And they're going to start treating you as such. This is why once you start to wake up, once you start to become aware, your life changes regardless of if you wanted it to or not. Nothing is the same. Nothing is the same again. You can go and pretend like nothing happened. You can act like everything is all good. You can, try to go back around the same people and try to do the same things and try to have the same thought processes and all of these things. Baby, it don't fucking matter. Nothing will ever be the same again. Your life is forever changed. The way that people address you will forever be different. And it's not always bad, right? There's positives that come with being aware and being on manual instead of autopilot. You know what I'm saying? There's positives that come with that, right? Because now you're more in control, right? You can protect yourself a little bit more than what you could when you were kind of just drifting around this motherfucker, and then, you know, everybody else was controlling you and telling you what to do, right? Thank you, my love. You have a lot more control over your life and over what happens for you and how things progress. But at the end of the day gotta end. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So the whole Carmelo Anthony thing is not a happenstance. It's not just a thing that happened and, you know, it just took flight the way that it did. No. Same thing with George Floyd. It's not a happenstance, right? And the deeper you get into the details, you realize just how I'm minding my words. You realize just how orchestrated all of this actually is, right? I remember 2020 when the whole, I'm going to say GF thing happened, because, you know, these social medias be ready to hang you. But when the whole GF thing happened, okay, George Floyd, okay, cool, we on the same page, okay, cool. I remember immediately feeling weird about it. First of all, 2020 was one of those years where there was a collective consciousness, conscious awareness, right? Multiple people were coming into consciousness at a time, right? It wasn't just like a personal thing, 111 over here. It wasn't just like a personal thing. It wasn't just like a kind of blocked off thing over here. It was collective. There were hundreds of thousands of people going through awakenings at the same time, right? So anytime you have that much energy being distributed and being tapped into, there are going to be cracks in the matrix. That's just how that works. It's too much energy to confine this reality anymore. Think of it like Monsters Inc., right? When they didn't have kids to scream anymore, the world started falling apart. They could no longer run their community off of that specific energy, right? So things started to shut down. Shit started fucking up at a very rapid pace. It took no time, right? That's what this looks like. There's glitches in the matrix. And when we say matrix, what we're basically just saying is this created realm, right? That starts to fall apart. The things that they put in place is almost like, have y'all ever seen that show? It was on Netflix. It's called something witches. Something witch. It's about a girl who found out that she's a witch and she got these powers and shit, and then she get in a relationship with a vampire, and then they have a baby. And I can't remember the name of it. If any of y'all seen it, please feel free to put it in the comments. It's an amazing show. Okay, I love it. It's called something witches. Anywho, there was a specific part. No, not Twilight. Witch was in the name. It's something witch. No, y'all about to make me find it. It's called Discovery of Witches. Thank you. Yes, Miss Pink, you said it right as I found it. The Discovery of Witches. Go and watch that. Okay, y'all know I be putting y'all on to certain little movies and shows and shit that kind of show you what the fuck is going on. Go watch that, okay? There's a specific part, and I'm not going to tell y'all too much because, you know, I still want the people who haven't seen that, I want y'all to go watch it because it's so fucking good, okay? It is so good. Like, I think I finished that shit in a couple days. It was so good. But there's a specific part where the witch has to go and find her husband, which is the vampire, and he's been taken by other vampires. And when she gets there, there's like this, it looks like her husband, but it's really not. It's like they created there was a witch working with the vampire who took her husband, and they created like this illusion, this hologram, so to speak, of her husband. And she knew that wasn't really him. They tried to, like, you know, get in her head for real. And I'm saying that to say that this realm is an illusion. It's like a hologram being put before you, and you have to basically see past it in order to really see what the fuck is truly going on. And a lot of the holograms that they put in front of you are actually emotional. They're tied to you emotionally. This is why it's so easy for people to fall into it, because it plays on your emotions. They understand, specifically as melanated people especially, that we are an emotional based people because we are energetically based, and emotions are energy, right? We have the most direct relationship with emotions because we have the most direct relationship with energy. This is why, no tea, no shade, there are other groups of people who come off less caring and loving and have done some of the things that they've done in history because they don't have the same relationship that we have with energy. If they did, they would not have acted out of some of the malicious ways that they've acted and done some of the disgusting, degrading things that they've done to other people in this realm, right? Or to other souls that are here, right? All of that speaks to the relationship that we have with energy, okay? Because emotions are energy, right? So in order to get us in a certain mentality, to put us in a certain mental place, and wherever the mind goes, energy flows. They understand this because some people that look like us taught it to them. Fucking rusty, dusty, crusty ass motherfuckers gonna go teach them motherfuckers our shit. You know, I mean, like, the fuck? Whose side is you on? You know? Anywho, yeah, they went and told them motherfuckers our secrets, okay? Period, Keon, period. And they understood the alchemy of who we are, and you know how we navigate energy, how we intake energy, how we alchemize energy, right? Thank you, my love. They learn all of these things about us. Now the difference is they cannot replicate or duplicate anything that we do or replicate anything that we have because they are not us, right? No Kendrick Lamar. But they're not us, right? So all they can do is work with other entities to create illusions. This is how they've been able to get as far as they've gotten, is because of illusions. Okay? And let me just preface this by saying this is facts over feelings over here. All right? So the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. Okay? Take it on the chin and keep it pushing. It is what it is. We can't change his story. Okay? But they've created illusions that are tied into emotions. Okay? And this is why we get so into shit when it happens as melanated people. This is why we're so quick to jump on shit once it's presented to us, because we are energetic people. So when we feel it, we feel it. We don't necessarily take enough time to see and look through it to say, okay, is this something that is really happening, really occurring? Or are these people trying to sell me something, to distract me from something, or to take possession of my feelings, take possession of my energy, take possession of my mental, right? Almost like a magic trick where I'm going to push you to look over here when really everything that I'm doing is over here, type of thing, right? And this is why when you start to awaken, or reawaken as I like to call it, because you're already up. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of, you ever seen somebody that's awake but they kind of just like zone the fuck out? That's how most of y'all are, right? Or most of society is. Yeah, they're like zombies, right? They're awake, but they're not really awake. They're like in that in-between stage, for real. And when you go through your awakening, it's like you completely snap out of all of that bullshit and you hit with the truth. And let me tell you, baby, shit, ain't nothing like waking the fuck up and seeing the truth of what is really going on. Okay? You talking about some scurry shit? That's some scurry shit. It's quite frightening. Number one, because you realize that a lot of the things that you thought were one way are actually another way. You realize that a lot of the people, places, and things that you put your trust into, or that you relied on, or that you depended on, were not worthy of that at all. Right? You realize that a lot of the belief systems that you've had, you know what I'm saying, were based on something that wasn't positive at all. You know what I'm saying? And it puts you in this space where you feel betrayed. A lot of it feels like betrayal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it feels like, how could y'all have lied to me? How could I have not seen this? You know what I'm saying? How could I have not been aware of this? What the fuck is going on? And this is why it usually results in isolation. I need to just get away from everybody because I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm confused. I'm stressed. You know what I'm saying? It don't stop. I'm learning something new every day that I didn't know before. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I just need to be to myself right now. I don't know who to trust. You know what I'm saying? You get in your head. Things are complicated. Things get very complicated. Right? Isolation is not the wrong direction. Isolation is what you need to gather your thoughts and gather yourself. Putting yourself around more people and more energies does not help in that moment. You need to spend some time by yourself so that you can get your shit together. Being around more people just adds more voices, more opinions, more all of that, which is more for you to sort through when you don't even know what the hell is going on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, with situations like what happened in 2020, a lot of that was because of the fact that there was a mass awakening going on. And we need to distract you. Right? We need to give you something else to focus on. We want to give you something else to look at. Hold on, y'all. We want to give you something else to focus on. We want to give you something else to look at. We need you to be completely distracted from what your higher self, what your intuition, what you're naturally being guided toward. Period. We don't have time for you to be out here figuring out who we really are and what our real intentions are. Now, where they fucked up at in 2020 was giving people isolation. They thought that forcing people to stay inside and to be to themselves would drive people crazy, or would, kind of distract people. Oh, you don't have to work. So because you don't have to work, you gonna be just doing a bunch of nothing and laying around and, just, up to no good, or, in bullshit, or getting depressed and stressed, but what it actually did is gave people time to look inward, gave people time to look outward as well, at the world, at what the fuck is going on. And you gave people time to communicate with other people that they would have never had time to communicate with, because they got to go to work, they got to go to school, they got to do this, they got to do that. You gave people time in a world that does everything to take time away from you. You know what I'm saying? That's why they want you to work 8 hours out the day and purposely create traffic so it makes your day longer. That's why they want your kids to be in school for so many fucking hours. That's why they don't adjust the cost of living with the hourly wages, so that you can work more hours, so you can have less time to your fucking self. That's why they up the prices on, travel. All of these things are strategic. Because when you really think about it, money within itself doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have value. It's a piece of fucking paper. It's a couple of numbers on a computer screen. It doesn't hold any fucking value, right? It's different from before, when we were bartering and trading, because we were actually exchanging things of value. If I give you some fabric, you give me some oranges and apples. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a doctor and I work on you, or help your child or whoever, you know what I'm saying, and you fix me a meal that lasts me a week, that seems like a reasonable exchange. We're both benefiting. We're both getting something out of it. You know what I'm saying? When we were bartering and trading, it was value for value, worth for worth. As long as you are offering something that matches what I'm doing, then we can go ahead and do something about it. If I get all of these people to help me build my house, and I supply them with fruits and vegetables from my garden, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, no, to say there's no exchange, there's always a winner and a loser, is absolutely diabolical. That goes to the mentality that these people have created. There are win-win situations. People do it all the time. We literally created an established, society based off bartering and trading. Money is a very new concept. That's not something, y'all gotta remember how long we've been in this realm. We've been here for a very long fucking time. You know what I'm saying? We've been here for a very long time. And money was not something that has been here since the beginning of time. They weren't exchanging coins and dollars since the beginning of time. Right? But we always knew that there were valuables from nature, i.e. plants, vegetables, animals. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about history, then yes, correct. But what part of history? You know what I'm saying? Where we're talking about the original history before things took a selfish turn, right? Where it is a win-lose situation. So them conditioning us to always be busy, to always have something going on, to always be working, to even always being tired, right? It strips you of your ability to think about other things. It strips you of the opportunity to even put your mind on something other than bills and worrying about this and worrying about that, right? But what 2020 took all of that pressure up off you, at least for a couple months, right? Which was just enough time for you to wake the fuck up out of your slumber. For those who did. Now, everybody didn't. Which we learned very quickly when we start talking. Because the amount of people that call me crazy, baby, I said, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you was following me 2019, 2020, my Facebook days, baby, they was trying to eat me up. Do you hear me? They were trying to eat the girl down. Everything I said, they was on my ass. I said, well, can you just try to listen and hear me out? They didn't want to hear shit. It was like, Lord, I'm trying to help. You know? They didn't want to hear that shit. They said, Poca, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You're crazy. I said, okay, I'll be that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us just made a decision to just be the crazy person. Fuck it. If I gotta be the person that's crazy, is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and strange and all those things, I'll wear that badge proudly. Because the shit that I started learning, I said, baby, there's nothing you can do to convince me that I'm on the wrong track, or I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. When the proof is right here in your face and all you gotta do is look at it. Right? So 2020 was a rough year for people who were coming into knowledge and information, or for people who were already had knowledge and information, but was finally starting to share it or talk more freely about it. Okay? It was a very, very rough year. Okay? But there were also a lot of things going on because these people knew that 2020 was going to be the year where there was going to be a spiritual shift. Now, understand, I keep telling y'all, the key to this realm is astrology and numerology. I've been telling y'all that for I don't know how fucking long. You want to master this realm? You want to take full advantage of this realm? You need to learn astrology and numerology. Period. You can know all the money spells you want. You can know all the love spells you want. You can know all of the whatever. If you don't know astrology, if you don't know numerology, it don't even fucking matter. Okay? It does not matter. You might as well not know anything. Because these motherfuckers are creating the illusions based off astrological and numerical events. They understand when we talk about sacred geometry, that's numerology. Everything goes back to the same stuff. When we talk about time, when we talk about the months, the days, the weeks, that's astrology. Down to the way that your body works and processes and revitalizes itself. That goes all back to astrology. Now, we did lessons on it over here. I done taught y'all how astrology is connected to your body parts, to your bodily functions, to your chakra centers. We done broke all of this shit down. I told y'all how numerology is connected to everything. We broke all of this down. If you want to go look at it, go to PocaSPEAKS on YouTube and go to the live section and scroll. Thank you, my love. We done did lessons on top of lessons on top of lessons on all of this shit. Breaking it down. So can't nobody say Poca ain't never gave y'all the information or I ain't never shared the shit with y'all. Because that would be a lie. We did whole 3, damn near 4 or 5 hour lessons on a lot of these topics. And there was a reason why Spirit had us doing that in the beginning of this year. Before we even crossed over into the official new year. If y'all notice, when we crossed over into the official new year is when I stopped doing lessons. I stopped doing lessons the beginning of April. We crossed over into the official new year March 21st-ish. So if you was paying attention, Spirit wanted y'all to learn a lot of that stuff and be able to have a lot of those things before we crossed over into this official new energetic cycle, aka the spring equinox. I think the last lesson I did was maybe the last week of March, maybe something like that. So all of this is purposeful, right? Now, going back to them emotionally triggering us, right? Back in 2020. The whole George Floyd thing happened, what, like April or May, I want to say. When, let me see. I want to get the exact date. Yeah. Listen to this date. May 25th. Now, the spring equinox in 2020 was March 19th. Hey, Corey. So, not even 5 to 6 days after the spring equinox, they come out with this George Floyd thing. Now, going back to what? Astrology and numerology. Why would, and this is a learning environment, so feel free to put your answers in the chat. Why would they have this happen so close to the spring equinox? He said to redirect your focus and your energy. Exactly. I've been amazing, Star. Thank you for asking. Exactly. To siphon your energy. Exactly. Your energy will be all over the place and you'll be distracted. Energy harvesting. All of the above. All of the above. Number one being the spring equinox in 2020 was one of the most powerful spring equinox that we had because of the fact that it really spearheaded and pushed us into the age of Aquarius, right? It was one of the official astrological moments with us being really in the age of Aquarius, right? And we know the age of Aquarius is what? The age of information, the age of knowledge, right? The age of awakening. If you know anything about an Aquarius energy is very out the box energy. Thank you, my love. Very out the box energy, very go against the status quo, very want to be, completely different and isolated from what everybody else is doing, right? And because of that, Aquarius are very intellectual because of the fact that they are always looking for answers outside of the box. They're always looking for things that are not traditional or that are not common, right? And it makes them amazing intellects because they're not seeing things the way that everybody else sees them, or they're challenging the things that everybody else sees, right? And asking more questions and saying, hey, well, another way to look at this is, another perspective could be, another this, another that, right? So us being in the age of Aquarius hits home, especially with everything that's going on, because of the fact that the answers that we're seeking are not traditional answers. And everybody kind of has a collective understanding that we're no longer in a traditional place, a traditional space, a traditional collective mentality. We are understanding that things that are outside of the box, things that may have seemed far-fetched before, are actually making a lot of sense and coming together to complete some of the puzzles that we've been kind of stumped at, right? So for the whole George Floyd thing to happen specifically at that time was to distract a lot of people from tapping into that energy that they knew was inevitable. It was fucking inevitable. There was nothing that anybody could do to stop the awakening. So if I can't stop it, I'm going to stall it. Right? If I can't stop it, I'm going to take as many people with me as I can while I can. Hence why not even, well, at the same time as that happened, CV-19, that's what we're going to call it, was outside. All of this happening at one time is not a coincidence. We don't believe in coincidences over here because nothing happens. When they say in church nothing happens outside of the will of God, what that basically means is every action has a reaction. So nothing can happen without something prior to that causing it to happen. So there's no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing as something just popping up and just coming out of thin air. Nothing comes out of thin air. Everything is purposeful. If I bite you, you gonna say ow. You're not gonna say ow without somebody biting you. You know what I'm saying? It's not for no reason. Okay? If somebody shoots somebody, you're going to jail. You're not in jail because you didn't do it. Something happened. You know what I'm saying? Cause and effect. What the fuck? Right? So, well, that example was, some people are in jail for things that they didn't do. But even that is not a coincidence. And we can get further into that, but not right now. So with that being said, going through those two historical events, right? One on top of the other. People were already in a state of fear. People were already on edge. Because if you remember when CV-19 popped up towards the end of 2019, they were showing us people falling out on the news. Now, this is why I say you got to pay attention to the whole thing. Because what they like to do is, zoom in to something and try to get all of your attention to be on that zoomed in thing rather than allowing you to see the whole picture of what is actually going on. Right? So they were, I don't know if y'all remember that. watching the news and they showing people in another country, I'm not gonna say the country, they showing people in another country falling the fuck out. They're like, oh, this airborne disease is running rampant and people are falling out and rolling around on the ground, and it's hectic around here and it's crazy and everybody should be afraid and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Just all of the things. Naja, my website is down currently, so if they do want to book any they gotta either email me or contact me directly via DM. But shout out to my moderators. You know what I'm saying? They were really trying to really have us out here scared. You're gonna fall the fuck out if you go outside and you breathe this in, or you come into contact with somebody that has this. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fall out and roll around on the ground and pass out and unalive. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? So it's, again, going back to emotions. I'm going to draw you in with emotions. And one specific emotion that they love to use is fear. Fear is one hell of an emotion. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Corey. Fear is a hell of an emotion. That shit will paralyze you. It will stop you from thinking. It will stop you from moving. It will stop you from connecting with people, from taking in new information. It will completely isolate you, right? And it put people in a panic. Now, the thing about panic energy, believe it or not, is easier to control versus calmed energy, right? Why is that? Because when somebody is panicking, they're looking for a way out as fast as possible. They're not thinking clearly when they're in a panic state, because the fear, the anxiety is so overwhelming that you're not in a place where you're like, okay, let me think this through. Let me, weigh out my options. Any option is going to be good to you. And it only got to make a little bit of sense for you to take your panicked ass wherever the fuck they pointing you. And this is why so many people lined up to believe that bullshit and let them inject them with that bullshit. Because they were panicked. And then they isolated certain groups of people to invoke more panic and more emotion, aka the elders and the children. If you are an elder, if you are a child, you are more susceptible to unalive because of this thing. Everybody is over fucking the edge. Those are the two groups of people that we care about the most. Those are two groups of people that we try to protect the most. Is the elders, the elderly, and the babies. So them making those two groups the face of this trauma, that just added to it. You know what I'm saying? That just added to the bullshit. Okay? What podcast are you talking about? If you talking about the podcast with the person that I was doing it with, no. Not at all. So now that they have the people in an uproar with that, now we're going to invoke, we're going to add more fuel to the fire. Yeah, no. No tea, no shade. I don't, no. I'm going to leave it at no. Spirit said leave it at no. Now we're going to add more fuel to the fire. with the George Floyd thing. Because not only are you already in a panic state, not only are you already in your head, not only are you already tripping, going crazy, scared, losing your shit, but now we gonna make it seem like there's other things that are still happening to invoke fear, upset, because anger is also a very strong emotion. Anger is a very, very strong emotion. Fear and anger blended together, if you break down a lot of the unalivings that we have, they're usually because of a mix of anger and fear. Period. Those two things together, like C4. Kaboom. Everything blowing the fuck up. A scared person that's angry, deadly. So you mix those two things. You have people feeling like they're not welcome, or they're not in a certain position in life or in their reality. You make them question their status and the work that they've done and the work that their ancestors have done, right? Because that's what George Floyd did. It basically had people like, well, damn, are we still living in the fucking 40s? You know what I'm saying? Did we just go backwards to the goddamn, and specifically with those type of national events, they happen every so often. And none of it is by happenstance. Rodney King was one. Tamir Rice was one. Trayvon Martin was one. One of the biggest ones. That just so conveniently happened at the same time that we got a black president. Sandra Bland. You gotta ask yourself, how do these stories get the attention that they get? Because the mainstream media is not owned by nobody black. That would be things, if it was owned by black people, it would make more sense. Because, it would be black people saying, hey, look at this, pay attention to this. You know what I'm saying? Look at this situation. That would make more sense. We don't own that shit. We don't own mainstream media. We don't own the news. We don't own the entertainment industry. They built it off our backs, but we don't own it. So why would they want to highlight things that are happening in our community like they give a fuck about what's happening in our community? Why would they want to bring that to the news? Why would they want to bring that to a public platform where people would be outraged and come after the very people that they represent? Why would they want to do that? You got to start. I keep telling y'all, and I've told y'all this before, basic questions answer it all. Stop thinking that this shit is the fucking Pythagorean theorem. It's not. It is always the most basic questions that lead you to the answers that you're looking for. It don't need to be science related and breaking down the fucking solving for X. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have to be all of that. It be the basic shit, the just matter of fact things that lead you to the answers that you're looking for. So why would mainstream media, who is owned by a specific group of people that don't represent you, want to represent you in something like that. And it wasn't just one news station. This was a global thing. This shit was, people from other countries know about this shit. It's a worldwide thing. Why would they want something like that to go worldwide? That's the type of shit that you gotta ask yourself. Because it doesn't make sense when you think about it. It doesn't benefit them. It wouldn't look likely to benefit them if it wasn't a negative reason behind it. It wouldn't make sense. If anything, we'll put more attention, more negative attention on said people. That's just that on that. So all of these different things that happen, I'm not one to say, some of them I don't think happen at all. I'm just going to say it like that. Some of these people, y'all have to understand that people would do anything for money. And we live in a world where there's over, 8 to 7 billion motherfuckers. Somebody could go anywhere and disappear, and they could tell you, hey, this person was unalived, and you'll never see that person again. Everybody don't know who you is all over this motherfucking world. Everybody don't know your name. Everybody don't know what you look like. Everybody don't know the story. Facial reconstruction is a real thing. Look at Hollywood. Some of them people that looked one way in the 90s and the 2000s, look at their ass now. Have y'all seen K. Michelle? Who the fuck is that? That's just one example of however many. They posted a picture of, who was it? Damn. Who was it? I think they was at the Met Gala. They showed somebody, and I didn't know who the fuck it was until they put the name on there. And I was like, what? That's her? What? Who the fuck is that? Would have never guessed. Tyra Banks. I think that's who it was. I don't know if she was at the Met Gala or not. I don't know if that picture was from the Met Gala. But they posted a picture of Tyra Banks. I said, who the fuck is that? And you talking about somebody who grew up watching America's Next Top Model. That was my shit. I'm talking about every week I was set. I was watching. I was tuned the fuck in. We were all rooting for you. Baby, I was locked and loaded every week. Every single fucking week. I said, who was that? I don't know who that person is. Who is this stranger with this motherfucking strange ass face? I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Who are these people? Where did they come from? People change their whole face all the fucking time. It happens all the time, 24/7. So, if they're doing it to people that we are familiar with, imagine people that we don't even know anyway. You would never blink twice if you seen some of these people walking down the street. You would never question it. You would just think it's another stranger. Another random person in existence. So we don't know for sure if these people are truly unalive. And then you gotta think about it too, especially with the Floyd situation. We talking about police who don't like to turn on their cameras, right? We talking about a pack of wolves who run from accountability, right? They lie and say their camera's on and the camera's not on. Okay, I done got pulled over at one point and the motherfucker tried to pull me out the car. I said, "Is your camera on?" That motherfucker said, "Yeah." I said, "And where is the fucking, the button should be lit up? When you turn that motherfucking camera on, 9/11, I've been saying 9/11 for a minute. When you turn that motherfucking camera on, the little light come on. You think I'm fucking stupid?" That motherfucker had to turn it on. Yeah, turn that on. Now, explain to me again why you pulling me off the passenger side of a car and trying to go through my wallet. Explain it now that we're on camera. Motherfucker, whole story change. Ma'am, you could just go home. Oh. Because what was you trying to do before? Now, all of a sudden, everything is on tape. Now, all of a sudden, you got people at the right place at the right time with their fucking phones out, recording everything that happens, everything that's going on. There just so happens to be a fucking phone there recording that shit. Even with the Caucasian woman who just called the little boy the N-word. What the fuck? How did camera get out at the perfect time? That's the kind of questions I be having. How did the fucking camera appear at the most pristine time? Right when shit was underway. I'm confused. On top of the fact that we live on social media where people say that word all the motherfucking time. I ain't never seen it be blowed up like this. Not to say that the act within itself was right. I'm not defending the act. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was doing that shit for clout or whether it was a real situation, it was fucked up regardless. So we're not defending that part. All I'm saying is I want y'all to think a little bit deeper. When shit like this happens, before you are quick to react, be quicker to think. You know what I'm saying? An unwise person reacts first before they think. So let's think first. Get as much information as we can. Ask as many questions as we see fit. And then react based on the information that we've accumulated. Not just seeing a couple of seconds of a clip and then automatically going in. Another thing that tells you that the shit is fucking set up is that bitch made $1 million. $1 million for doing what? Not a fucking thing. Nothing. Now the narrative is there's so many racist people in the world, and there are a lot of racist people in the world. But there's so many racist people in the world that, you know, they were happy that something like that happened and they wanted to give her some money. Yeah, bullshit. Have y'all ever heard of money laundering? Have y'all ever heard of charity scams? Have y'all ever heard of tax breaks for giving money to charities? If you go study charities in America, and how much money go to these charities, and the people who own said charities, you will start looking at charities a lot different. You'll start looking at that shit a lot different. It's just like when they talk about art, right? People who buy art. Why do y'all think that there's art selling for millions of dollars? Now, no tea, no shade. Y'all are some amazing artists, okay? You got some people out here who can really, truly draw and paint and all of the things. But, bitch, that shit's not worth $1 million. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Listen, no tea, no shade to nobody. And I mean, you could make the prettiest watercolor pictures that you possibly can create. And shit is not worth $1 million. I don't care if a little boy made it in 1905. Why are we paying $1 million for it? It does not make sense. They've normalized this shit so much that people just be like, makes sense to me. It's art. It's not worth $1 million. That is laundering. A lot of people make payments to other people through shit like that. This is why it's always been exchanged through the hands of people who have money like that. They paying for other shit. They putting their money and exchanging their money for other stuff. They're getting out of being taxed. Which, I mean, if taxes is your reason, I'm not too upset about that. Because fuck taxes. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of weird, strange shit that be going on. And they be using a lot of these things that they've normalized to make you think that it's something when in reality it's some other shit. Art being one of them. These little fake ass GoFundMe's being one of them. Because who started the GoFundMe? And if you go look through some of the amounts of money that was sent, they're sending thousands of dollars at a time. Now, I don't know what y'all think, but the average white American, Caucasian American, is not sitting on a mother load of money. Especially not in 2025. That's not factual. The average, your average racist Caucasian American, is not sitting on millions of dollars. If they was, you wouldn't see them when you go to work. They wouldn't be your co-workers. Hello? Y'all go to the same jobs these motherfuckers go to. Some of them work some of the same positions you work. Again, let's use basic common sense. It's not like these motherfuckers are sitting on acres of land. And we're talking about average. We're not talking about those who are into other shit and doing other shit and making other amounts of money. We're talking about average. They're not sitting on the money that you think that they're sitting on. And what really told the truth about it was the election. Most of them people voted for who they voted for because of money. If they had it, it wouldn't have even mattered. Most of them people voted for the people they voted for because they wanted more money in their pocket. Y'all gotta start putting the clues together and piecing the puzzle together. So who the fuck is sending these people or this racist lady thousands of dollars at a time? It's not no average racist. I'm just proposing things for y'all to think about. That's my whole point. I just want y'all to think a little deeper. Okay? Dig a little deeper. Don't keep going off of the picture that they're trying to paint for you. Because the picture that they've been trying to paint for years is that these group of people is up here and you're down here. These people have more than you have, and you got this little bit over here. These people are living a life of luxury, and you're a bum. That's been the picture that they've been trying to paint since they emerged from them caves. So you got to take that same mentality and apply it to 2025. It is what it is. Facts over feelings. Period. So we get to this place where now racism is picking up again. Not to say that people are not jealous, because that's what racism is jealousy. Not to say that people are not jealous of who we are, and because of that they have hatred and resentment in their heart. We know that that's true. But nobody is that bold in 2025. They not bold. They not saying that shit to your face in 2025. What? We are not our ancestors, respectfully, we are not our ancestors from the 50s and the 40s. This is 2025. We have no problem putting you to sleep. So this fake boldness on social media that we're seeing, a lot of that shit is scripted as hell. A lot of that shit is made the fuck up. It is what it is. A lot of that shit is rage baiting. That's why they call it rage baiting. Going back to anger being one of the most powerful emotions. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit is rage baiting. There was a woman who just did Piers Morgan's show. She was on a panel with Mark Lamont, Piers Morgan, her, some other white lady, and somebody else. I don't know if y'all seen the clips from it. And she was basically, you know what I'm saying, like, just trying to present this openly racist, you know, oh yeah, I'm an open racist. I don't care. I'm open about my racism, and I'm open about blah 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 blah. This is a narrative trying to be pushed. Again, a distraction. Further distracting us as a melanated collective from what the fuck we should be focusing on. Which is reclaiming what the fuck belongs to us. Waking up on a spiritual level, because that's the first step. You can't go and reclaim some shit that belongs to you if you don't even know that you're entitled to said stuff. That's why we see religion taking the downfall that it's taking. And being exposed for what it has always been. Again, fear is paralyzing. So one of the biggest reasons why most people are still in them pews on Sunday is not truly because they believe. It's because they fucking scared. They are frightened. They've been told this story and convinced of this story. That if they don't believe this very story, they're going to burn for eternity. So they're living their life following something, not by choice, but out of fear. And not just Christianity, any religion. It's all fear-based. This, if you don't believe in this, if you don't follow these things, this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to miss out on this. You're going to miss out on that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have access to this. You're not going to have access to that. Blah, 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 blah. But going back to basic questions. Why do churches get tax cuts and listed as nonprofits and are protected by the government? You can take your black ass to the bank and tell them, hey, I've come up with an amazing idea for this invention that's going to save the world or, you know, help a lot of people. I just need a loan for $150,000. And then people will look in your face and say, no. I'm sure it's wonderful. We're not giving you shit. Alright? Now, take that little idea that you got and shove it up your ass. So we're not giving you a darn thing. You can take your same black behind to another bank and tell them, I'm opening up a church. I need a $150,000 loan to purchase this building and to start my church. And them same people will say, approved. And you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that strange? That doesn't spark the curiosity within you? Why are these churches so protected and heavily funded? Well, if my ulterior motive was to distract you as long as I could, wouldn't I make sure that whatever things I have in place to do that are always running? Always funded, always taken care of, always provided for. When I invest into those illusions, that's why they get looked out for the way they get looked out for. And when you go and you do the research on religions, you realize that it was always about control. It was never created for you to reach something outside of yourself, or for you to come into contact with the creator of all. No. It was literally created, especially if we're talking about Christianity specifically, that shit was literally created to control a group of people. Which is why it was forced on people the way that it was. Which is why people were unalived if they didn't go along with the narrative that was just created. Now, was a lot of it stolen from spiritual text? Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why we can look in the Bible today. You can look in the Quran today. You can look in the Torah today and see a lot of similarities between the things that are written and our belief systems or our inner knowings as spiritual people. Because a lot of it was copied and pasted. Spirituality came first. We all understand that. We all know that. But the purpose of religion was to control. Let me me see something real fast. I just thought about something. Now, the end of religion sounds and is spelled kind of like legion. Right? And I know we also have done lessons on etymology over here. So we break down words. But I just seen it in my head. Right? You know what a legion is? It's a large number of people or things, right? Usually is used in a spiritual context. Things that make you go, Those words being very similar like that is very interesting to me. So you have this hive mentality of people. And it didn't start by choice. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? That shit it wasn't a decision. Them people ain't wake up one day and was like, yeah, let's completely change our belief system. That's not what happened at all. People were literally bombarded with this new way of thinking and this new narrative of life and creation. When these same people teach us that the people who came a long, long time before us had a completely different mentality on how life started and how we got here and our belief systems. So how we just completely abandoned them people like they wasn't here first. The Aztecs, the Mayans, the Egyptians. We just gonna ignore the hieroglyphs and the shit that they put in these temples. We just gonna look past all that. The emerald tablets and the Sumerian texts. We just gonna act like none of that existed and take on this whole new doctrine and not, put it out there as an option, but force it on people. Kind of because they are no longer here, out with the old, in with the new. That doesn't make sense. If that's the case, if it's out with the old, in with the new, we shouldn't still be practicing none of the religions that we practice. If that was said mentality, if the whole point is to get rid of all of the old shit and replace it, why are we still practicing that shit today? We how many years after Christ? Has the Bible updated? No. Has that religion updated? No. So that can't be the mentality. You absolutely can believe whatever you want. And this is not to make anybody believe anything. I'm not forcing any type of belief system on nobody. I always provoke thought. I want you to think. That's all I give a fuck about. As long as you are using your brain and you're asking questions and you're not allowing other people to think for you and tell you what something is, when you have access to the same knowledge and information that they do, then my job is done. That's all I care about. Use your goddamn brain. Don't be a sheep. You know what I'm saying? They always want to come for the wolves, but the wolves not being led to the damn slaughterhouse. The sheep are. Think for your damn self. Hello, my love. Think for your damn self. Ask questions. Shit stop changing and progressing when we stop asking fucking questions. And going back to, creating and invoking fear. They get on here and they tell you, their version of his story, right? And a lot of it is don't ask shit. If you ask a question, we gonna do this to you. They sat there and made us watch Roots. That's, first of all, I mean, who the fuck does that to kids? Number one. They forced us to watch that long ass fucking movie and all 54 of them parts of that damn movie. And we seen that man try to stand up for who he felt like he was and be obliterated. Then we go out into the world and they set up the shit that we was just talking about, where you have people minding their damn business and these same groups of people come up and take them out. And somebody got a damn camera and they record it and then they put it all over the internet. So instead of you understanding how powerful you are, you're being reminded every day that you turn on the news or you get on social media that you ain't shit. What the fuck? They're not teaching you nothing that's going to help you. They're not showing you the beneficial things that have happened and are happening in Black America. Half these kids have no idea about the true contributions of and creations of Black America. And they don't just withhold that information from our own kind, but they withhold that information from people in the diaspora. And they go and they teach them, yeah, Black Americans, they ain't shit. They are products of slavery, and they don't know who they are. So now you got people, you know what I'm saying, of the same hue as you, looking at you like a fucking charity case, as if specifically Black Americans ain't the reason why half of the shit in the world is what it is. And I can only talk about the Black American experience because I'm Black American. I can't talk about nobody's experience. We talking about us right now. If it don't apply, let it fly. Why do y'all think that it's so common for other people in the diaspora to start these one-sided ass beefs with us on a random ass Tuesday? We just hop on social media and it's Black Americans think Black Americans are so, Black Americans don't know who they are, Black Americans this, Black Americans that, and we are fucking confused. Bitch, we just woke up. What the fuck are y'all talking about? We don't even think about y'all. Why are we always the topic of fucking discussion? We ain't even did shit. You gotta start asking, why is this the narrative? Who taught them this fucking way of thinking? Because they don't even live here. They don't have no personal experience with us like that. Unless they travel here. And even then, you really don't know us. If you ain't lived here, you don't know us. The shit that they put on social media that infects our community from the inside out. Why the fuck are y'all supporting shit like Baddies and all of these disgusting, diabolical ass TV shows that showcase a version that we are not. The average black American is not running around here acting like that. What the fuck? The average black woman is not running around here acting like that. That's not a good depiction of who we are and what we represent. What the fuck? We not out here acting like that. Do y'all know black American women are the most educated group of fucking women in America? Even though I don't agree with the education system. But it goes to show what the fuck our priorities are as a collective. Go look the shit up. All up and down my timeline on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, I see black American women and men graduating from prestigious colleges with doctorates and masters. But you go ask a random person in the UK about a black American woman or man, and they gonna give you an episode from Baddies or a fighting video that they done seen somewhere. Or talk about our music. Now again, going back to who owns the entertainment industry. The music that they push, the people that they sign, is for a fucking reason. This further proves whatever fake ass point that they have, that we're only this specific type of people. And then the shit is mainstream, meaning that they're pushing this shit out purposely. They're investing into pushing it out to not only America, but other countries. That shit is embarrassing. We the same people that created jazz. We're the same people that created country. We're the same people that created spirituals and gospel. We're the same people that created the GPS system and the cell phone and the air conditioning unit and the traffic light and vaccinations. Same people that do open heart surgeries and master herbalism and medicine. Mathematicians. Energy sources outside of electric energy sources. I'm gonna say it like that. We them same people. But you ask anybody else, and we just the people who made drill music. We just the people who unalive each other and carry around pew-pews and fight and got baby daddies and baby mamas. And it don't help the narrative at all when you have those select group of people who want to live out this same fucking horrible ideology and make it appear like this is really what it is. So can we really blame these people when they feel the way that they feel about us? When a lot of people are supporting the very shit that is causing them to feel the way that they feel? I knew I couldn't trust y'all when y'all allowed Sexy Red to get as far as she did. I knew I couldn't fucking trust y'all. I knew I couldn't trust y'all when y'all allowed Ice Spice to become who the fuck she became. Thank you, my love. I knew I couldn't trust y'all. I knew I couldn't trust y'all when y'all allowed that long chin ass motherfucking Natalie Nunn to get on social media and become who the fuck she's become and create the horrible, disgusting, vile ass show like Baddies. I knew I couldn't trust y'all. I knew that we was not locked in. I knew it. I'm scared of y'all hoes. No shade. Y'all put the fear in me. I knew I couldn't trust you motherfuckers when y'all started dressing y'all kids up like 2025 models. Little girls 3 and 4 years old and dressed like they about to go to a day brunch, a day party, and get mimosa wasted. I knew I couldn't trust y'all when y'all started dressing y'all sons like YNs. When I started seeing videos of these kids rapping rap lyrics word for word, bar for bar, including the cuss words. Baby, at my grown ass age, if I'm rapping a song around my mama or singing something around my mama, I'm gonna mute the fuck out them cuss words. Certain shit I'm not even gonna put on around her. What? I'm not just freely dropping F-bombs and bitches and hoes around my mama. Is you crazy? And my mama cuss her damn self. But there's a level of respect that I have where I'm not about to cuss in front of my mama like that. Now, if something slip out to this day, my grown ass age, I'll be 30 next June. At my big ass age, if I slip up and cuss in front of my mother, I'll be like, oop, my bad, mom. Instantly. I don't even have to think about it. It's just like second nature. Oh, my bad, mom. My bad. I ain't mean for you to hear that. And y'all know I cuss. I cusses. I love me a cuss word. I love me a little sentence seasoning. But the only way my mother gonna hear it is if she watch a damn video. She's not gonna hear that shit in person. She gonna have to watch a clip. What? I'm not doing that. These little kids is cussing and fighting teachers and doing all type of wild ass shit. And I can't blame the kids. Kids are not responsible for the environments that they're put in and the things that they're subjected to. It's these perked out, freaked out ass parents. Ain't nobody raising their kids no more to be fucking kids. I ain't seen a little kid in a Mickey Mouse shirt in a minute. What the fuck happened to light up shoes? You know what I'm saying? These kids don't want to be Spider-Man no more. They want to be Lil Baby. What the fuck is going on? I don't see no kids in no barrettes like that no more. No bobos. No ballies in their head. They got fucking knotless. 5-year-olds with knotless braids. And whatever the fuck else they coming up with. You got people putting wigs on children. Spraying got to be glue on they little ass head. And a soft spot is still squishy. What the fuck is going on? I can't blame these people for looking at us crazy. They put makeup on them, exactly. That shit is embarrassing. That shit is embarrassing. Well, what happened to the motherfucking princess sheets? Now, I grew up in the 90s, in the early 2000s. Baby, I had Cinderella sheets. I had whatever other Disney characters on my motherfucking sheets. And I'm talking about the whole set. Fitted sheet, blanket, comforter, pillowcase. I was excited to sit there and watch them damn Disney movies in my little Disney comforter set. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see kids outside now. Why the fuck is y'all not outside? The summertime? What? It's about to be summer. It didn't even have to be summer. The minute it was a cool 50-something degrees, high 50s, baby, we was outside with them jackets on. What are you talking about? We weren't waiting for no 70-degree weather and 80. When we got a little kiss of 60 degrees, we was out the fuck side. Hell, it could have been a blizzard. We was gonna put on our motherfucking North Face suits, cause I'm from DC and Maryland, so we was on North Face heavy. We put on our motherfucking North Face suits and go the fuck outside, or our Helly Hansons, and go right the fuck outside and be in that snow. Making snow angels and shit and having snowball fights and running the fuck around until our nose was moist. And we was sneezing uncontrollably because it's cold as fuck and you need to bring your little goofy ass inside because you're about to be sick. You give a fuck. We had on long johns and snowsuits and boots with the fur. And earmuffs and hats with the fur and gloves. And don't let you have a little hand warmer. Don't let you have a little hand warmer going on. That prolonged the stay. I'm really lit now. Hands warm. Feet warm, double the socks, long johns on. Baby, we was outside. We was walking home in the snow, still going to school, snowy and all, and had a great time. The best days after school was when it snowed, because we all going outside and we throwing snow at each other. That was the best time. Everything has completely changed. And there's nothing wrong with healthy change, but when things start to change for the worse, we got a problem. A lot of these parents don't want to parent. You want to stick a fucking tablet in front of your kid's face. And then you wonder why they fast, or they into shit, or they learning about stuff. You're not monitoring nothing. Just giving them a motherfucking tablet. Why does a 2-year-old know how to navigate a damn tablet better than some of these 60-year-olds? My mama still asks me. My mother took my phone the other day when we took her out for Mother's Day, and asked me why my letters were so small. That shit tore me down. I was crying laughing because, girl, what did you talk about? These is normal letters. Why is your letter so small? Because I have 20/20 vision, my love. How big do you need it? And had glasses on. I said, it's not magnetized enough. Thank you, Corey. What, girl? You know what I'm saying? My mama to this day will call me. I'm trying to do this on my phone. I need you to walk me through. She went to a Mary J. Blige concert, I want to say a month ago. And called me and trying to FaceTime me and show me the damn concert. Now, she know how to switch the camera around, so we love that for her, right? But she had the voice isolation on, so I couldn't hear shit in the background. I could just hear her talking. I said, Mom, you got to scroll up to the top. You got to press the little green thing, and you got to switch it off of voice isolation to standard. Do you know how long it took for her to figure that out? She had to share her screen. I had to screen record doing it on my phone, send it to her. She had to share her screen. I had to walk her through it, and it still took us 15 minutes. By the time she finally got the damn thing on standard mode for me to hear the background, I think Neo was up there. He was done with the damn song. The song she called to show me was over. I said, girl. And it was right there the whole time. I didn't even see that button. I'm going to need you to lock in. I'm going to need you to take your time and lock in, okay? What are you doing? How do I share my screen? How do I do this? How to do that? My little brother lives with her. She will completely just override him and call me 45 minutes to an hour away to ask me to do something and to show her something so basic. And my brother, like, I tried to show her. She didn't want to listen to me. I said, Mom, why you want to listen to him? Because he gets on my nerves. Okay. All right. I guess that's a valid point. He gets on your nerves, so you don't want to listen to him. Even though he just told you the same shit that I just told you. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? At this point, live your life. Be who you want to be. Because you're not going to stress me the hell out. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I don't get her. She's strange. But how the fuck can a 2-year-old work that phone and that iPad better than my almost 50-year-old mama? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And this is not to say that children should not learn technology, because we're moving into a technological era, right? We as millennials, we were the first of the high-tech era, okay? We had the desktops. We were the first generation of laptops. We were the first generation of cell phones, you know what I'm saying? We was the first generation of, you know, a lot of things. FaceTime, live, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We are we spearheaded all of these new high-tech things. The digital GPS system, because when I was growing up, we went on the maps, and you had to print out that shit on MapQuest. You want to go somewhere, you go on MapQuest, you put in your destination, you put in your current location, it maps it out, you print it. Whoever was in that passenger seat was in charge of the fucking map. They had to relay to the person, hey, we're going to go 2 miles, and then you're going to see this exit. You're going to take this exit. You're going to drive 7 miles. You're going to get off on this street. You're going to make a right on this specific street here. Okay? Yes, you had to write that shit down if you did not have no goddamn printer. And if you had a nice lengthy trip, you had a lot of directions to write. Let me just say that. And for somebody living in Maryland and D.C., if I had to travel to fucking North Carolina and you ain't had no printer, baby, you was going to be writing. Turn by turn. Name of the street. Left or right. Roundabout. Mileage. Exit number. Hello? And you better hope it ain't been no recent construction to where the fuck you going. Because that shit didn't update instantly. It wasn't no instant updates. Oh, there's been recent construction and we've changed this turn to this turn. You found out about it when you got there and you was fucking lost. You had to ask somebody, hey, do you know how to get to blase? I don't know what the fuck. Period. Not saying that these kids should be subjected to that, because that was of that time. That's like saying we should be subjected to going back and writing letters for everything. Even though millennials, we lived in the letter generation too. We literally seen the conversion between manual things to technology. Because we was in school learning how to write out letters. Hello? They was teaching us where to put the information on a fucking letter, how much a stamp cost. And we was learning that shit in elementary school. They was passing around fucking letters. And you had to write that shit out. Okay, the address goes here. The sender's address goes here. The person you delivered it to, their address goes here. You got to put the stamp in the top. You got to put this, and that. Yes, we had pen pals. You goddamn right. Until they opened up the chat rooms. And then it was over for that. The chat rooms changed a lot of lives. Good and bad. My little brother, my mother's youngest son, is 22. We'll be 22. Will you be 22 or 23? Good Lord, these children, they're growing up. He'll be 23 in August. If I wrote him a letter right now in cursive, he wouldn't be able to read it. That concerns me. They stopped teaching cursive. And cursive, on a spiritual level, is a very, very powerful way of writing. Write out your manifestations in cursive for 3 days and come back and tell me what's going on with your life. I'm trying to tell you. And if you really want to add some spunk to it, write it with a pencil. Woo, baby. Yeah. Go try that out. They don't even teach cursive no more. I wrote a sentence in cursive and I said, read this. That baby act like he... Y'all, it pissed me off so bad. He act like I wrote gibberish. Yes, a number 2 pencil, absolutely. You would have thought I was writing in another language. I can't read that. What does this word say? Okay. You know, it's concerning. It's very concerning. The education rate in schools. And I was a teacher for 2 years. Let me tell y'all, these kids are not learning shit. And it's not because of these teachers. A lot of it is these curriculums, the dependency on social media or technology rather, and these fucking parents. Now, when we had homework, when I was growing up, your parent was gonna make sure you did that fucking homework. They may not have known how to do it all the time, which would be frustrating and annoying. But it got done. Whether it was right or wrong, we tried to figure that shit out. And you couldn't do certain things until that fucking homework was done. You couldn't go outside. You couldn't watch TV. You couldn't play. You couldn't get on no game. That shit was dead. Is that homework done? No? Alright. Stop asking me about the damn game. Stop asking me to go outside. You couldn't ride no bike, no scooter, no big wheel, no nothing. Your ass was grass. And you could hear the kids playing outside. That was the torturous part of it. You could hear everybody playing and running around and on their bikes and going up and down the street and shit. And sometimes you'll get that one friend come knock on the door. Hey, why they can't come outside? And your loud ass mama she don't want to do her homework, so she can't come outside. Girl, why are you telling them all my business? They didn't ask you that. You're talking too much. That's your problem. You're talking too much. Why did you have to say all that? Now when I go to school, they're gonna be asking me, they're gonna be clowning me about not doing my homework, and I couldn't go outside. You putting them in my business too much. I don't like that. Nowadays, incomplete assignments. The parent calling the teacher, cussing the teacher out for doing their job. These kids got badass attitudes because these parents is not disciplining them at home. So then they come to the school and want to talk to the teachers crazy. And think they going to put their hands on somebody's teacher. You got to remember, we got millennials that is teachers now. Some of the older Gen Z, but mainly millennials. If you think your kid is going to touch a millennial, and we not going to peel their muffin cap back blue, you got a different fucking thing coming. You've lost your mind if you think I'm going to let 12-year-old Sarah put her motherfucking hands on me. Is you cool? Now you want to press charges on the teacher. Well, if you teach baby Jack to keep their fucking hands to themselves, you wouldn't have these issues and these problems. Why do these kids think that they can put their hands on grown-ass people? Because they mad. Because they got an attitude. Because somebody told them no. Hell yeah, they big as hell. What the? Big. I was an elementary school teacher. My school went from K3, I think. K3, K4 to 6th grade. Listen, now I'm 5 foot on a good day. On a great day. I had students 5'10", 6 foot in 4th grade. In 3rd grade. Girls and boys. We're not just talking about little boys. Girls and boys. Tall as and we're not just talking about tall. They burly, like my grandma would say. They got some weight on them. They husky, like my mama used to call it. What? Now, thankfully for me, my school wasn't in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? I went and worked in the Caucasian area. That was, we had Caucasians and the Indians and the Hispanics and the Africans. It was well blended and integrated. And then we also had children on the spectrum. So it was like one of those, advanced, integrated, everybody's welcome type of schools in a very, very high class area. So we didn't really have to deal with too much of that. If anything, we dealt with know-it-all, entitled ass parents that was fucking annoying, that didn't think that their kids was bad at all. And that shit pissed me the fuck off. How you gonna tell me what your kid did and you wasn't here? What the fuck? I just spent 8 hours with this little badass motherfucker and you gonna come here and tell me what I just said ain't happened? What reason I got to lie on your fucking kid? My son would never do that. I know my son would never do that. But I'm here to tell you, baby Jack is bad as hell. And he absolutely did do that. Lady. The fuck? How you gonna fucking tell me? I just seen the motherfucker go over there and hit the little boy. My son would never do that. They need to put cameras in these classrooms like they do for the damn preschoolers. Put cameras in these classrooms and let the parents watch from home. And don't tell the kids that there's cameras in here. Just let them be free. If they do that shit, it'll change the fucking game. It will change the game. Put cameras in them fucking classrooms and don't tell them kids about it. So just like the little baby teachers, okay, yes, the 3-year-old teachers and the newborns and shit, they can just watch their baby from home or from work. They go on that damn app and they just be looking. That's what we need for these, and I'm talking about all the way to high school. All the way to fucking high school. Put some cameras in these classrooms. I promise you shit would be different. Because a lot of these parents, kids so fucking spoiled and entitled. And what I don't get is I wasn't the same kid at home that I was in school. What the fuck? I was worse at school than I was at home. Duh. Because my mama is not there. My daddy is not there. I'm going to talk back at moments when I never would. I'm going to cuss in places that I never would. I'm going to do a whole bunch of shit that I don't do at home. Because I'm not home. So if a teacher come and tell me my child is doing something, I may not automatically believe it, but I'm going to say, hold on. Give me more details. Because I wasn't the same kid everywhere. That was the time for you to do what the fuck you wanted to do when you was away from your damn parents. And when you get around the other little kids and you trying to show off as a kid, you do a whole bunch of shit that you wouldn't normally do. Trying to get a couple laughs and you know what I'm saying, be the class clown, and you gonna do a lot of shit that's not usual for your behavior at home. I can't stand these. My kids are not when they're at home. They don't act like this. Well, yeah, Lindsay, because you're there. What the fuck? Duh. And the gag is a lot of them do act like that at home. Pissing me off. Then you got children who are allegedly, and I say that for a reason, on the spectrum. Some of these kids just bad as hell. I'm so sick of this whole, mentally incapacitated theory going around that all kids now got something wrong with them, and no. I've worked hands-on with autistic children. I worked hands-on with mentally limited children who truly have something wrong, or I'm not gonna say wrong, something different about them when it comes to their mental capacity. Some of these kids, they're not autistic, they're bad as hell. And a lot of them are poisoned by sugar and high fructose corn syrup and red dye and yellow dye and blue dye and aluminum and heavy metals. A lot of them need a parasite detox. I'm sick of sticking these labels on these fucking kids. And it's so bad they're not even labeling kids no more. They labeling adults. Now you got adults talking about some, I'm stimming. Girl. Ooh. Sometimes I just want to jump through this phone and just, what do you mean? What are you talking about? If you just, I seen a video on TikTok at one point. I think this is maybe 2-3 years ago. And the motherfucker said, yeah, you know how sometimes you just randomly break out in song? Well, that's a sign of autism. I can't just be a musically inclined person. I can't just randomly think about a fucking song. Are you for real? Maybe you're undiagnosed. When I say that shit infuriates me so bad. When we get off this live, I want y'all to go on TikTok. And I want y'all to look up undiagnosed signs of autism in adults. And just watch the videos. Your mind is going to be blown. At this point, the whole world has it. The way that they're categorizing shit, everybody got it. Nobody is exempt. Because now basic shit means that you fucking got it. Breathing and being a human being means that you got that shit. And I don't know if y'all met people who truly have autism. They are some of the most intelligent people that I've ever fucking encountered. Autistic children? Listen, I had one little boy that I taught when I was a teacher who was autistic, and he would take Legos. A lot of them love Legos because they can create whatever the fuck they want. He would take Legos and create circuits, like electric circuits. He would turn Legos into circuits and explain to me the functionality of said circuit. You talk about mind fucking blown. His father was a scientist. His mother was something. I don't know what the fuck she did. She was Russian. Daddy was Caucasian. And that little boy used to have my fucking mind so blown. I said, wow. I'm scared of you. It had to be, I think he was in, when I was there, 4th grade, maybe? 3rd or 4th grade, one of them. Had another little boy that would create weapons out of Legos. I mean, every piece you could think of, it was there. Any weapon you could think of. To the point where I had to he would come in. You know, they put their little big bags in the cubby. I said, let me see your bag. Let me see your work. What did you bring from home today? Give me a hug. Pat you down real fast. Okay. You can put it over there. You can go ahead and put it up. Hey, I don't play that shit now. My classroom was ran like a tight ship. Listen, what's in your wallet? I need to know. Okay? I'm just patting them up like down. I'm unzipping all the little zippies. Where's your pencil? Lord, I'm looking for something. Where's your color pencils? Let's find it. Just not on my watch, like Iyanla Vanzant said. Not on my motherfucking watch. Will you bring something in my classroom? I'm playing that now. Let me check that bag. See what you got up in there. And then while you at it, open a lunchbox too. Let's just be thorough. You know what I'm saying? Oh, open that lunchbox. What's up under that ham and cheese? You know? I want to make sure. Shit. Lift up them Oreos real fast. Let me just make sure this is all edible. I ain't play that shit now. Fuck that. You won't bring it in here. Hell no. Listen. Sis, I ain't play that shit now. All that talking back and getting smart. Oh, well, I didn't play that. I had one little Hispanic girl. She was in 5th grade going to 6th grade. Ooh, little smart mouth. I said, oh, baby, I'm black. Okay? One thing about it. Not here. Who you thought you was talking to? And you play that shit with them other teachers. No, ma'am. Had another little Hispanic boy. He was bad with everybody else. When I first got there, he was so motherfucking bad. Other teachers used to come and tell me, yeah, you know, he did this, blah, 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 blah. So just, you know, watch when he gets to your class, you know, just, you know, whatever. I said, now mind you, a lot of them was either this or a lot of them were us, but this on the inside, if you catch my drift. I said, yeah, okay. Let him come in here. There was one classroom where he wasn't on that bullshit. To the point where they started coming to me like, hey, can you get your son? I said, he's my son now? When did I get kids? I ain't got no kids. Can you come get your son? They sending him to my fucking classroom because he in trouble. And what I learned about a lot of these kids, going back to what we were initially talking about a lot of these parents not paying attention to their kids, a lot of them just want attention. A lot of them are not feeling the love from their parents. Going back to the distractions that society has set in place to keep people, you know, so busy and worried about this and worried about that. A lot of these kids just need some fucking attention and somebody who genuinely cares for them, on top of some type of consistent routine and something to aim for and some type of reward system. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be bad as shit with all of y'all because none of y'all giving them no fucking attention. The only attention you giving them is when they do something bad. You're creating a false sense of a false reward system in their head. The only time I can get some type of attention, some type of love, some type of, you know what I'm saying, whatever, is when I go out here and show my ass and do anything and act any type of way. No. So y'all know kids' favorite food be McDonald's. And they not my kids, so I don't give a fuck about them eat McDonald's or not. I would tell that little boy, look, you come in here and you act like you got some sense. For the next however many days, I'll bring you some French fries and a sandwich from McDonald's. On top of that, I need you to be my helper. You taking them out of that, this is a bad child, we gonna write them off, they ain't shit, to being somebody of importance. I need you to be my helper. I need you to walk around and pass out my papers. I need you to make sure everybody get a pencil. You know what I'm saying? I need you to make sure everybody got a snack, and then when it's time to clean up, I need you to go around with the trash can. You got teachers who have, mind you, I didn't go to school. I didn't do no college. None of that. The only thing I did was I would go to our little, we had a couple trainings and like district meetings and shit. You know what I'm saying? That we would have to go to where they taught us certain things. That's the only training I had as a teacher. Right? But children and adults are the same fucking people. You know what I'm saying? The same way you see adults go out here and do dumbass shit because that's the only time to get some attention. So they go out here and make an OF. You know what I'm saying? The fans, okay? They go out here and they show their ass and they want to fight each other and they want to do shit like baddies. All of that is a cry for attention. And the reason why they do that is the same reason a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old is going to go do something destructive, because they're going to get some type of attention that they're not fucking getting. They're the same people. This is why when I do lessons and when I work with If any of y'all have ever worked with me on a mentorship, a consultation, a counseling session, or anything like that, I treat y'all like fucking kids. Not in a sense where I'm talking to you like a child, but I keep everything simple. Even with these lessons that I do, even with the lives that I do, everything is very fucking 1 + 1 = 2. Because adults are no fucking different from fucking children. Literally. No fucking different. And everybody got a praise kink. Everybody likes to be praised for doing something. If you teach a person that they only get praised from doing negative things, then they will continue to do negative shit. If you teach a person that they'll get praised for doing positive things, then they'll invest in doing positive things. It is nature and nurture. It is environment. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm approaching a client, this is why I always start with childhood. It's not just because, that's the beginning. It's also because that's where your mentality was formed. That's where your ideology about life and about, circumstances and problems and experiences and all that's where all that was created. We need to go there. I need to talk to your inner child. I need to have a conversation with them first. Fuck who you are at this point as an adult, no tea, no shade. But where did all this come from? Who taught you to think like this? Where did you see this at? Where did you learn this mentality? Where did you get this shit from? Who instilled this in you? Because we are no different than them kids acting out at school because of whatever's going on at home. We not no fucking different. That's the same shit. Whatever went on at home when you was a kid caused you to go out in this world and show your ass in whatever way you showing your ass. To perceive things in whatever way you perceiving things. You know what I'm saying? Simple. It is what it is. So the more you get into, if you want to understand people, study children. I'm trying to tell you. You want to understand why people act the way they act, move the way they move, make the decisions that they make, do the things that they do. Study children. Look into the development of children. It's the same shit. That was one thing when I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what your ultimate career is or what you're supposed to be doing with your life, Spirit will put you in different places for you to learn different things that will eventually help you with that specific area of life. Teaching was one of those places for me. Me being a healer, me working with people and their traumas and the different things that they've experienced, I needed to work with children. It was a requirement. I had to go and have firsthand experiences with children. That shit set me up to work with adults more than anything else. Because it's no different. And if you look at society, going back to the original topic that we started with, the world understands this. They understand this. They know how to tap into those childlike parts of you. Why do you think they keep coming out with all these fucking remakes of these fucking Disney movies? Bitch, we didn't already say you can't remake Lion King. It's fucking Lion King. But what does that do? It invokes the childlike nature in you. Sets you all the way back. Takes you all the way back. It's a mental thing. We don't need no live action Lion King. with Beyonce singing and shit. Who the fuck asked for that? We didn't need that. I still watch the same old ass Lion King that came out in the beginning. All these remakes of old shit. Why y'all keep remaking old shit? There's so many new movie ideas that y'all could come out with. Why do we keep watching the same stuff over and over? All these motherfucking slave movies. I'm sick of it. That's why I love Sinners so much, because Sinners was not a slave movie. It still told a story from that time without it being a fucking slave movie. And it showed the strength and the power and the spiritual nature of Black Americans, which I don't think we've ever seen like that on TV. We never seen ourselves showcased from a spiritual perspective like we were in Sinners as Black Americans. Now, other groups have had, positive type of movies that showcase their belief systems, even if it was spiritual. It don't matter. They still showcased it in a positive light. But we as Black Americans have never had hoodoo specifically, which is a specific Black American spiritual practice. We've never had that showcase, let alone in such a positive way, in such a save the day type of way. That's why everybody's having the reaction to it that they're having. And they don't even know why they're having that type of reaction. A lot of them haven't broken it down. Now, most of us understand why we are reacting to it like that, because a lot of us are spiritual and we're tapped in. But people who are not even spiritual, Christians, other people with different beliefs, Muslims, whoever, having the same reaction to that movie and don't know why. It's a spiritual thing. Not to mention Ron Coogler is a Gemini. So I'm just saying, this is the year of the Gemini. Y'all see what's going on with Kendrick. Y'all see, y'all even see what's going on with Kanye. Did y'all hear Kanye's new song? I'm not going to get too into it because, that group of people is very picky and emotional. But did y'all hear the new song? I was talking about the movie Sinners. Go look up Kanye's new song on Twitter, because they removed it from all streaming platforms. So you can't see it, you can't listen to it on YouTube, you can't listen to it nowhere else. Go look it up on Twitter. Now, we can have songs all day with people calling us the N-word. They still got them caricature-ass songs from the 30s and the 40s streaming on these different platforms. But Kanye can't put his song out. I just feel it's hypocritical. These motherfuckers say whatever the fuck they want to say. That bitch just made $1 million off of saying what she wanted to say. But Kanye can't put his little song on streaming platforms. I don't understand. Hell yeah, Blackface is still on YouTube. Hey, Bruce. I mean, they got whole ass songs calling us the N-word with the hard ER on Apple Music, on Spotify, on YouTube. But Kanye's song got taken down. Again, it's the year of the Gemini. Kendrick Lamar, look at what the fuck he done did. Now, I love Kendrick down. Do I believe that a lot of this is spiritual? Absolutely. But we also know that you don't get to reach certain levels of success without doing a little song. Now, it wasn't by accident that when he got up there and made his Grammy speech, that he said he just lost somebody in his family that was close to him. I'm just saying. You can't have the world and keep your soul. And he is on a legendary run right now. He's on the craziest run that we've ever seen in music history. Outside of Michael Jackson. Nobody else has had a run like this. He defeated the top dog, quote unquote, in hip hop. He's changed the trajectory of music. I don't know if y'all noticed, but music has been a little different. These rappers is rapping about they rapping different now. It's not a lot of shake that ass and bend over and touch your toes no more. Ever since that beef, the lyricist is back outside. I don't know if y'all peeped. Niggas is rapping again about substance. And you don't get to be the head of something like that. You don't get to do the stadium world tour. You don't get 5 Grammys. And I love Kendrick down. You know what I'm saying? I love him down, but you don't get to do all of that and not give up something, not exchange something, not hand over something. You don't get to do that. You don't get to take down a $600 million man if them same people not making that money back through you. Because that boy's still on a contract. I don't know if y'all know anything about Drizzy. Drizzy is still on a $600 million contract as we speak. And he ain't been selling no music like that. That little tour he tried to do in Australia got canceled. Because wasn't nobody buying them fucking tickets. You know what I'm saying? So what did Doechii give up? I wonder, because people keep saying she's a plant, and I don't agree. All I'm going to say is everybody doesn't get an invite to the Met Gala. The Met Gala is not just a gala for fashion. It's a reason why they don't allow you to have a phone in there. It's a reason why only a select group of people are able to go to something of that magnitude. It's a reason. Nothing is a coincidence. No such thing, especially in Hollywood. No such thing as a coincidence in Hollywood. It's not possible. It doesn't even work like that. There's no coincidences in Hollywood. Things don't just happen. It's not just a happenstance. You know how many incredible vocalists there are, incredible lyricists, incredible songwriters and musicians that we will never know. And it's not because they don't have the talent. It's not because they don't have the talent. You know? Yeah, Meg Thee Stallion took her phone in there. She can't come back. But y'all see what just happened to Tory. Okay. Did y'all do your research on Rock Nation and Tory Lanez? I suggest you go do it. Y'all do know that he's not in jail because he shot her. He's in jail because he had possession of a firearm. Those are two different things. Two different things. If you go look up his charge, what he's charged with is not for shooting anybody. It's for having a firearm. then all of a sudden he got stabbed 14 times. They said his lungs collapsed. Both lungs collapsed. But then they also said that he's talking. Now, I don't know if y'all know anything about the body, or if any of you guys have ever worked in the medical field. But you're not talking after both of your lungs collapse. I don't I don't know if the collective of people understand how lungs work. You're not talking after not one but both of your lungs collapse. Because in order to inflate the lungs again, you usually have a tube down your damn throat, or you're put on a machine. And multiple surgeries. Multiple surgeries. They say he got stabbed in the back of his head, and in his back, and in his stomach, I think, and some other places. And he's talking, and his lungs collapse, and he's formulating sentences. What? What? That was a telltale right there. Whoever the fuck wrote that, they need to fire them. Worst PR. If they were supposed to be keeping the secret, fire them. They are horrible. Why would y'all put that shit out like that? That doesn't even make sense. Anybody with basic common knowledge, you don't even have to work in the medical field to know that don't make no fucking sense if you just think about it. What is a requirement for you to talk? Air. You can't talk without air. You can't talk without breathing. You need both of those things to be intact for you to formulate, for noise to come out, for you to be able to speak. Which is why you keep talking, eventually you run out of breath. So, how is he talking again? I'm confused. Hello, my love. I'm very, very much so thrown off. And I don't think it's a coincidence that this happens a couple of days after the Met, or a week after the Met Gala. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. There's a lot of things that are not making sense. After that song just flopped that she put out, ain't nobody listening to her ass like that no more. A lot of people was only supporting her at one point because they didn't like Nicki Minaj. Not because they truly liked her and her music. And now, people that even were Meg Thee Stallion fans are coming out and speaking on the fact that her music is ass. So what she thought it was going to do, it didn't do. Who she thought she was going to turn into, she didn't turn into that person. Not the person that she thought she was. And the world is not receiving her in a way that everybody thought that they would. Y'all took that boy out because of the fact that he cracked the fucking code. He learned how to make millions of dollars and not need y'all ass for shit. And the motherfucker was so good, he put out damn songs, and I don't know if it was an album or just songs, locked up. From prison. How? ways all around that goddamn system. Them people ain't know what to do. I mean, just finessing right and left. They go here, he goes there. He figured this out, they figure that out. Them people couldn't do nothing with that boy. So then we get what happens today. Or yesterday, whenever the fuck it happened. Well, we don't know when it happened, but we got the information today. I want to say, was it yesterday? One of them days. I hate to be the one to say it. I don't think he's with us any longer. I don't think he is still with us. And I don't think he's been with us for a while. I think that this is just a way to start to get people, give people a reason of why, of what could have happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's been with us for a while. If he does come back out, he's definitely not him. Definitely they clone Tyrone energy. 4 sure. 5 sure. 6 sure. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely gonna give that. It's not gonna be. They don't let people like that make it back out. I'm gonna give you another opportunity to take money out of my pockets. I'm gonna give you another opportunity to go around me. No, not doing that. The whole Kendrick and Drake thing. Again, I love me some Kendrick. I love Kendrick since he came out when I was in 11th or 12th grade. I've loved him since, and I love him now. But one thing I don't do is ignore the fucking facts. I'm not gonna do that. And I'm going to that motherfucking concert in June. But one thing I'm not gonna do is ignore them fucking facts. This whole thing was strategic as hell. Now, can certain people sell themselves to have, a bigger plan in mind? Absolutely. I think that his intentions started very pure. I still think Kendrick's intentions are pure. I do. I feel like he's ushering in a new wave of spirituality. If you listen to any of his recent music, especially if you go back to Mr. Morale, that album is spiritual. That is a deeply, deeply spiritual album, which is why a lot of people didn't fuck with it when it first came out, because it was a lot. And one thing about Geminis, we give information and things before it's needed. So we be ahead of our time a lot, which is why people don't be really getting it when it first come out. But then you wait a little bit, you wait a couple months, couple years, and that shit come back. Just like Kanye. A lot of shit that Kanye was saying when he said slavery is a choice, motherfuckers was looking at him and calling him all types of everything until about 2020, 2021. And all of a sudden it clicked. And people was like, you know what? He a little crazy, but he's on to something. That's just how it be. Me being a Gemini, I understand it completely. I done said a whole lot of shit that people, they was calling me crazy. Girl, you know what the fuck you talking about. You this and that. You're evil. You got a bad spirit. You blah, 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 blah. Same people had to come back and say, Poca, it was right. I wasn't ready to accept it, but you was correct. That's just an air sign thing. People who have heavy air sign placements, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you gonna be 17 steps ahead. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be outcasted a little bit until it all comes full circle, and then you finally get your credit when you don't even care about it no more. When you don't even think about the shit no more, then they be like, you know what? You remember when you said that shit 5 years ago? You was so right. It's like, nigga, I know. That's what I was trying to fucking tell you this whole time. You don't even care about the credit no more. You like, whatever. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shit is annoying. But you get used to it. I'm used to people looking at me like I'm crazy, or when I say certain stuff, they like, she's tripping. You know what I'm saying? She a little off. Thank you, Tank. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to that shit. I just be waiting for the day to come when they gotta come back and tell me I was right about everything I fucking said. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I said it. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? All the shit. Oh, bless me. All of this, again, no coincidence. It's all by design. No coincidences. It's all by design. All of it. Especially when we're dealing with the entertainment industry. Especially when we're dealing with politics. This is why people like, and you know, I know some of y'all don't like the motherfucker, another Gemini, Trump. And a lot of people don't fuck with him. A lot of people have convinced other people not to fuck with him. And I'm not no advocate for liking people that you don't like. If you don't like a motherfucker, you don't like them. I'm saying you don't need to be cool with nobody that you don't like and you don't care for. You know, that's your business. But when somebody is right, you need to look into it. When somebody is doing something or standing for something that benefits you, you need to look a little deeper into it. And I'm not saying everything that he do is right. But a lot of the things that he is doing, you need to look a little deeper into why. A lot of people was mad about the tariffs. I don't know if y'all just seen China, then they took their tariffs down to 110%. They went from this incredibly high, insane percentage of tariffs to now all of a sudden, I think the tariffs are at 10% for the next 90 days. This the same tariffs that, you know, with China that everybody was just on this man's neck about, because that shit is never going to work. He think that this is going to work, that's never going to work. Do you know how much stuff we get from China? They're never going to do this, they're never going to do that. They did it. They did it. Some people see things that you don't see. And when you understand being chosen or having a duty in this lifetime sometimes comes with you being alone and people not fucking with you because you gotta do some things that make people uncomfortable. Temporary discomfort for long-term, you know, stability is worth it. And that's what we as a people, talking to my Black Americans, we got to get back into that mentality. We can be uncomfortable for a little bit. in order to create some type of stability for ourselves as a people. That's why everybody keep wanting up our motherfucking ass. How we black Americans, we created this motherfucker. We started this motherfucker. We've been here before slavery. And we don't have nothing in our name. We ain't got no hospitals. And I don't mean they just put our name on a building. Because that's going back to illusion. Those are illusions. We ain't got no black-ass hospitals owned by black-ass people. We don't got no black-ass grocery stores. Well, you got a couple black grocery stores now owned by black people. We don't got no black-ass banks owned by black people, governed by black people. The entertainment industry, we the face of it, but them people making billions of dollars to our couple of million in a small percentage of our community. Hip hop itself is a $1 billion industry. $1 billion genre. What do we have to show for it? What do we have? Where has that money taken us? We don't even have access to the fucking money. These record companies is not black owned. And the black owned record companies are subsidized companies. They not at the top. They owned by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We don't have nothing to show for this shit. We created the majority of music that is in the world today, right now. Most of the music that is here right now in this world was created by black American people. Or it came from a genre created by us. How much of that money have we seen? How has that helped us? How have we grown as a community? We haven't. Because we don't want to be uncomfortable for a little minute. And stop giving money to these people, to these corporations. We've convinced ourselves that we need them. If we stop shopping with... For example, when they were talking about the whole Target thing. Nobody boycott. Nobody go to Target. Nobody shop at Target. Everybody stopped shopping at Target because DEI. Something that didn't benefit us. It benefited us at 4%. If you go check the numbers. 4% of DEI was black people. And they group everybody into black. So you could be African. You could be, whatever else. Jamaican, Caribbean, everybody's grouped into black. So we don't know how much of that actually affected black Americans, which is a whole different piece of that, right? We have no idea. But either way, it didn't affect us and on a grand scale, one like 50%. It's fucking 4. White women benefited the most from DEI, which is about diversity. How the fuck is a white woman diverse? I don't know. Anyway. Boycott Target. Boycott Target. They don't support DEI. They don't support DEI. First of all, when the last time you heard something about DEI? All this fake ass outrage. When the last time you heard anybody even mention that shit or mention giving a fuck about that shit? And how many of the people still at Target? Still supporting Target. Not only that, but they talking about something, we not going to shop at Target for this one specific day. So you shop there the day before, and then you're going to shop there the days after. But that one day is supposed to make a damn difference, and it's supposed to change something. Whole mentality is fucked up, okay? Everybody get mad at people because they shopping at fucking Target. Meanwhile, in our neighborhoods, you got the Arabs, who owns the liquor stores, who owns the beauty supply stores, Who owns the curry outs? Who owns the check cashing places? The gas stations? Thank you. Why the fuck are you boycotting Target and then coming home and putting your money in the community of somebody else if your whole point is to amplify diversity? I'm confused. And people was trying to get on me. Oh, well, that's in our communities. We need those things. If we stop shopping at those places, then how are we going to get this? And how are we going to do that? And how are we going to do this? And how are we going to do that? And how are we going to make this happen? And how are we going to make that happen? Do you not know them people that boycotted them buses walked to work for over a year? Y'all think they boycott was a day? 24 hours? Them people boycotted for a year and some change. In the South. In Southern heat. What the fuck are we talking about right now? They didn't have the ability to ride a bike or a scooter. If y'all gonna do something, do it for real. Stop making all these fucking excuses. Can you imagine what would happen if nobody showed up to work? Everybody stayed the fuck home. Y'all want to boycott some shit. Let's all stay the fuck home. Hello? You can do that shit for 3 days and the world will reset. I fucking promise you. Nobody go to work. Nobody spend $1 unless it's with somebody who look like you. And don't go to work. Don't pay no fucking light bill. Don't pay no rent. Don't pay no gas bill. Don't pay no utilities. Don't pay no motherfucking water. Don't pay no trash. Don't pay a fuck ass thing. Just stop. Stop participating. You can't participate and expect for something to change or be different. At some point, you gotta stop fucking participating. And if everybody will realize that they are nothing, there is no upper class without a lower class. There is no CEOs without workers. There's no queen bee without worker bees. The status comes from having people beneath you. You pull the fucking rug from under their feet. You are the rug. They said true, but they'll come after us. They're going to come after millions of people at once? Fuck no. They can't do that. There's power in numbers. It can't just be a couple thousand. We got to be on one accord. What, they going to lock everybody up? They going to lock everybody up? How? How? And y'all seem to underestimate the intelligence of yourselves. They could cut the water off. They could cut the lights off. They could cut all that shit off. Do you not know? Nigga, we was still in cable in the early 2000s. Everybody ain't pay for cable. And there was always one person in the neighborhood that had the fucking key to the damn gas box. What are we talking about? They can try to cut that shit off if they want. We had lights quick. Water be back on quick. What you talking about? Gas right back on. Have you lost it? It's all about being on one accord. But you can't make a move like that if people are not convinced that a move like that needs to be made. And so many people they think they benefiting off of this system when in reality they're not. I don't care what type of lifestyle you got. You're not benefiting off of shit. You don't truly have nothing. A lot of these motherfuckers don't truly own nothing. Don't feel no type of way because people got houses and Lamborghinis and all of this other shit. They don't own that shit for real. Most of them don't even know the laws that they need to apply to really own it. That's why your shit can come get taken. You miss a payment, your ass is grass. What? You don't pay them property tax. 1111. Miss paying them property taxes. I don't care. You could have built that house from scratch. You could have started with 1 square foot of cement. Bitch, your ass is grass. Let them get wind that you not paying the motherfucking property taxes. There's ways to get out of those things, but you got to know the law. This goes into legalese. I done told y'all about the Black's Law Dictionary. We done talked about that. And how you need to study legalese. Real quick, shout out to all the people that's gifting. I appreciate it. This is a gift appreciated space. If you are enjoying the live, enjoying the topic, enjoying the vibes, definitely feel free to gift as you see fit. If you want to send it directly to me, you can send it to my Cash App, Monroe Dior, MonroeDior. And it's all appreciated. Can I do a class on on legalese? We can break down the Black's Law Dictionary. I got the PDF. You can get the PDF online for free. And all it is legal terminology that they actually use, right? Like when you go into court and you tell them, or even if you're talking to an officer and you tell them, I understand, you're putting yourself under their subjection. You're omitting yourself, or omitting yourself at that point. You're putting yourself under their jurisdiction when you say shit like that. So it's like specific words, the way that you use them, the context that you use them in. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the allodial title for land, where they can't do nothing with it. They can't touch it. It's a lot of things. Even getting a DOT number for your car. Thank you, my love. You get a DOT number for your car, they can't do shit with that motherfucking car. There's a specific process where you can get the original title. You get a DOT number. They can't fuck with you. Y'all do understand that you don't need a driver's license to travel. But you do need a driver's license to drive. That's legalese. You don't need a license to travel. You're able to travel about this country however you see fit in your private vehicle. You are a private citizen. But there are certain things that take you out of that private box, like a social security, your birth certificate. That's why you see people rescind their birth certificate, rescind their social, rescind their driver's license, rescind their IDs. All of this is to put you in an independent state as a sovereign citizen, meaning I have jurisdiction over myself. I don't fall under your jurisdiction because the United States of America is a private corporation. It's just like a business. It's like Target. So Target has their own set of rules. When you walk on Target's property, you got to abide by Target's rules. It's a corporation. United States of America is a corporation. America is not a corporation. United States of America is a corporation. So just learning little shit like that, it'll start to help you, mentally understand what the fuck is going on and why things are the way that they are. The very fact that, if you don't send your child to a public school or put them in a school system, they can come and arrest you or come and take your child. Nobody should have rights over your child. It's your child. But do your child got a social security? Do your child got a birth certificate? Well, you made your child a citizen of the United States of America. That's why they can come and take your fucking kids. I just seen a video of a couple that had a baby, and their newborn baby got taken from them because the mother, she either didn't get the child vaccinated or something like that. And they took her baby for 10 days. Let me fucking tell you something. Let me tell you something. You let me push a baby out of my coochie cat and think that you can come take it. That'll be the last thing you reach for. I promise you that. Hello, my love. I promise you, you won't reach for another thing. Them hands, listen, okay. Whose child? No. Absolutely not. But this is why we have to know the laws. Remember, the Constitution was already written before the United States of America was established. We were already here. We already had a Constitution. We already had laws. That shit is not new. That's why they can't do nothing with that, with the Constitution. They can't do nothing with that. The rights that you have under that is the rights that you have. And then you have human rights, basic human rights. They can't fuck with that shit. They can't touch it. This is why if you go look at people who they call themselves like upholders of the Constitution or whatever, and they go to places like jails, they go to courthouses, they go to post offices, they go to federally owned properties, and they record. And a lot of people think that, you know, they're provoking people, but in reality, they're showing you abide by the Constitution. Everything else, a lot of these quote-unquote laws are suggestions almost. They don't hold the same rank. When something is constitutionally protected, it doesn't matter anything else. You know what I'm saying? None of the other shit matters. So you have these people that go into these places and they apply pressure. And if they get locked up, if the motherfuckers put them in handcuffs, if they do anything to obstruct them from doing whatever they doing, baby, they paid. Do you hear me? They got lawyers who are on standby, and they be making a bag simply from police and other people not knowing constitutional law. Y'all understand? Police, they don't get taught the law, but they're supposed to uphold the law. Why aren't police officers going through the same training a lawyer would, or taking the same test a lawyer would? Because it was never truly about the actual law. It was about control. It wasn't truly about protecting everybody. It's about control. Why the fuck you a cop and you don't know the amendments or the statutes of the Constitution? What the fuck? You supposed to uphold the law. That's literally a part of their pledge, is to uphold the law. Well, how you gonna uphold some shit you don't know about? They don't take no test on the law. The only test they take are fitness tests. And some of them do psychiatric tests. That's it. They not learning no fucking amendments and no laws and statutes. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't fucking know. They don't know. All they know is what they've shown us. And that's not to say all police are bad, because if something happened right now, I'm calling the fucking police on your ass. So I'm never going to be one of them people that's like, you know, defund the police and we don't need them. Yeah, okay. Somebody steal your fucking car right now. What you going to do? Somebody break into your shit right now. Who the fuck you going to call? Ghostbusters? Be so fucking for real. You know what I'm saying? The concept of having someone to like that to protect, mind you, it says protect and serve, which means they are not above you. And that's another thing that those constitutional invokers, I want to call them, one thing that they always, you know, highlight. Y'all are here to serve the people. We don't, y'all not in control of us. We don't have to listen to you. Who the fuck are you? If I'm not breaking no law or doing anything that is outside of the Constitution, you don't have no jurisdiction over me. If I want to cuss, I can cuss. If I want to say shut up, I'm going to say shut up. You know what I'm saying? If I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. Knowing your rights is very important. That shit is very important. Knowing your rights to travel. You know what I'm saying? All that shit is very important. Go look into DOT numbers for my people who travel. Driver's licenses are for commercial vehicles. That's what that shit is for. It's not for private citizens who want to get from point A to point B. It's for commercial driving. But they make you think that that's not what it's for, because then they go and create a CDL. And then they call the CDL commercial driver's license. So a lot of people think, oh, that's something that's for the commercial drive. No, it's all commercial. When you're driving your private vehicle, mind you, not driving, traveling. When you're traveling in your private vehicle, you don't need a driver's license, because it's your private vehicle and you have the right to travel wherever the fuck you want. However you want. If you want to hop on the back of a horse, it's within your rights to do so. Literally. So, we've covered a number of topics today. Y'all know, anytime we do lives like that or like this, my ears start ringing. I always employ y'all to go do the research. Don't just take anything that I said for face value and be like, oh yeah, Poca, I'm just going to believe everything Poca said because Poca said it. No, that would be stupid. Okay? And we don't breed stupid over here. We breed intelligence. So any smart person will take a lot of the things that they heard today, and this will be posted on YouTube tomorrow if you need to play it back and, you know, rewind some of the stuff that I said. Go do your research. Go look at it, learn it, dissect it, break it down for yourself. You will never fully understand anything if you don't take the time to get it for yourself. People can tell you whatever the fuck they want to tell you, and it can sound very convincing, and it can even be right. But if you don't know how to explain it, if somebody asks you about that same thing and you don't know how to really explain it, then that means you don't know it for real. So make sure that you're going and you're doing the research for yourself. You don't have to be a master at everything that you research, but you need to know a little bit about a lot. That's one thing I pride myself on. You need to know a little bit about a lot, about as much as you can. You need to know enough to keep up in the conversation. Period. You don't got to be a master, because it's not for everybody to master everything. It's not for everybody to know everything. But you need to know a little bit about it to be able to follow where the conversation is going. All right. Specials are still available. I'm still doing 5-minute readings and 10-minute readings specials. I still have an hour special for consultations, and I also have a 4-week mentorship special for those who are interested in working with me long term, whether that's on tapping more into your spirituality, figuring out who you are, getting more acquainted with this journey, shadow work, ancestors, whatever it may be, specific topics that you want to go over, healing, trauma healing, childhood trauma healing, so on and so forth. Counseling sessions are available for those who want to work with me once a week or every other week or a few times out the month, so on and so forth. I do have custom services, so you can just let me know what it is that you're looking for. I do offer payment plans for those who may need to stretch out their payments. So if you're interested, my website is currently, I'm currently redoing my whole website right now because the Gemini in me, it's just time for a change. So I don't know when my website is going to be back up, but for now, you can email me at PocaSPEAKS615@gmail.com. PocaSpeaks615@gmail.com. Or you can shoot me a DM message on whatever social media you have me on, whether it's on here, whether it's on whatever else you may be following me on. I look at all of my DMs and my email multiple times a day. So feel free to reach out for any services, any help. If you do want to send any donations, you can send it to my Cash App, which is Monroe Dior, MonroeDior. If you want to Zelle, it is my email. Send it to my email address, PocaSpeaks615@gmail.com. Again, for those who kind of missed the beginning, this week, gmail.com. Again, for those who kind of missed the beginning, this weekend into next week, I will be out of town, but I'm taking y'all with me. So make sure that you follow me on both platforms. If you already follow me on Big O, then make sure that you follow me on TikTok at The Real PocaSpeaks. If you, The Real Poca Honest. Yeah. If you follow me on TikTok, make sure you follow me on Big O at PocaSpeaks. And that way, because I'll have to be maneuvering from one app to the other while I'm on the trip. And I'm taking y'all with me because where I'm going is definitely a place where, y'all would be interested in seeing. So that'll be that for this weekend and next week. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. All hearts and minds are clear. Everybody good. Again, this will be posted on YouTube tomorrow rising. The reading we did from yesterday is currently up there for the people who want to go back and watch it. I think that you should. We had an amazing reading yesterday, so definitely go back and tune into that. There could definitely be some messages for you that are helpful to you in this point of your journey, and where you are in life. So definitely go and recap with that. Also, go on YouTube at PocaSpeaks. Go to the live tab and go look at some of those lessons that I talked about. Etymology, numerology, astrology, the connection between astrology and the body, intuition, manifestation. I mean, we've done so many lessons. So definitely go back and check those out as well, so that you can use those for information and further research. Okay, remember, research everything, take it all for face value, but also go and do your homework behind it. Just not only to fact check it, but also to make sure that you have your own understanding of it all. All right, light and love. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I don't know if we'll do a topic, another session like this, or reading. I don't know. We'll kind of just go with the flow, and we'll go from there. All right, my loves. Shout out to everybody who gifted. Shout out to everybody who commented, everybody who shared, everybody who liked, everybody who tuned in, whether you stayed the whole time, whether you came in and out. Shout out to everybody who sent any cash apps or Zelles or any donations or any love, period. It is all appreciated. Yes, I do offer birth chart readings. Feel free to inbox me or DM me for it, or email. Yeah, shout out to everybody. It is greatly appreciated, to have people that want to hear what you're saying, and want to be tuned in. So anybody who is a part of this community, whether you just joined today, whether you've been a part of this community, you are much appreciated. All of you are greatly appreciated. I really want y'all to know that. Also, if you are melanated and you're interested in connecting with us, me and my collective offline, we do have a Discord. So if you're interested in that and you want the link, feel free to DM, email me, or inbox me for that as well. And I'll send you the link. Again, it is a melanated space only. It is gate kept, and it is what it is. This is more of a public forum, but we deserve privacy in our community, period. And I'm not explaining that any further or defending it. So yeah, that's that on that. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Be good. Be safe. Again, take all of these messages into consideration. Do your homework, and make sure y'all go watch that Discovery of Witches movie, TV show. Yeah, go watch that. And we'll talk about it again. All right, peace.